Hey everybody, welcome back. Nearly gone news as long as the last time. So, welcome to what's officially now going to be titled Wrestler Spotlight. I have a name for it. Donkashin. Okay, please ignore that terribly old joke. We are going to talk about a guy who is legitimately intimidating, actually fear-inducing, and someone who I just can't seem to not insult every time he's at a show. That did not narrow that down to anybody. Let's go ahead and let me explain who I'm talking about. You already saw in the description, Lance Hoyt. Okay. First, about Lance Hoyt. From a purely our antagonistic perspective of, how we feud, which we don't actually do, hence the air quotes. He's mean. He's a jerk. And he's constantly intimidating people just because he's taller than most people on the planet. There's like a small percentage of people who are actually as tall or taller than him. This is a very true statement. This is not anything I'm making up. Yet and still, why do I insult him? I'm starting to believe I actually do, in reality, have a death wish that I just am not aware of in my own mind. Subconsciously, I think I just secretly want one of these wrestlers to actually hurt me. I don't know. Maybe I really do. I don't know. I can't even begin to explain it to you. Anyway, now that I've got that out the way, from an actual fan, wrestling aficionado perspective, there is almost no wrestler of Lance Hoyt's size, weight class, who can match the intensity and skill he brings to the ring. Let me put it this way. Lance Hoyt is not the most technical guy in the world. He's but he is skilled beyond belief. It's one of the reasons I am so very happy for him that he's in New Japan, because to me he's one of the top guys in New Japan. Not even just as far as tag teams go, but he's just a great wrestler. He brings an intensity to the ring no matter where he is. This is at indie shows in Texas that he's from here. Or whether it's across the Pacific in New Japan, whenever he's wrestling there. Let's look at some of his credentials real quick. Let's just look at some of the things he's accomplished in his career. Two-time NWA World Tag Team Champion with Kid Cash. This is to say nothing of the two more times he's won it with Davey Boy Smith as part of the Killer Elite Squad, and also two-time IWGP Tag Team Champion, again, with Davey Boy Smith Jr. And even in Japan, in 2011, winning the G1 Tag League. He's just a great guy to watch. In Japan, quite frankly, I'm... And this is not me throwing a criticism at New Japan. It's not, but this is just my personal. I'm a little saddened that he hasn't won the IWGP Heavyweight Championship yet. I do believe if they would give him a singles title, preferably the Heavyweight Championship, but even the never openweight title, the IWGP Intercontinental title, they would really see him break out. And not to say that they haven't, showcased his talents a lot already. I believe that's exactly what they've done, and other people can feel it differently, and I understand that, I support that. But to me, regardless of what he what he does or what they do next with him in New Japan, he's already going to go down in one of the best tag teams, not just in New Japan, but of all time. The Killer Elite Squad, to me, is one of the best teams to watch, in or out of the ring, because they I think quite frankly, both of them being released from WWE did wonders for their careers, because they went to Japan, and look who they feud with in Japan. They feud with their, people call them their rivals in Tenkozu. That's Tenzan and Kojima. And if you're gonna pick a tag team to feud with to make a name for yourself, you couldn't have chosen better. Because and those of you who are watching this, if you only follow American wrestling, you don't know who Tenzan and Kojima are. Look them up. I strongly insist that you look these two guys up. From a personal standpoint, as far as seeing the Kill Elite Squad wrestle, of course, I said, like, I've met Lance Hoyt several times. He sticks to who he is in the ring. He can be mean and vicious. He's spit water at me, which actually, quite frankly, I saw coming. I've had this coming for a long time, people. I'm surprised no wrestler has never assaulted me yet. I'm shocked by this a lot of the time. Outside the ring, though, he's very respectful. He's very professional, and he just wants to, and he's good at what he does. He's good at antagonizing the crowd, getting the crowd angry at him, when to the point where they nearly want to fight him. He's good at that. And everything, and every move he does in the ring, it just looks like it hurts, like intensely. It's like if he throws a punch, it looks like whoever just got hit just got knocked for a freaking loop. He's kind of like Charlie Haas in that way, and I have it confirmed from Houston Carson that Charlie Haas hits pretty hard. Anyway, and with the fact that Lance Hoyt's from Texas, it would surprise me not one little bit if he hits hard too. But to me, Lance Hoyt, I think, is one of those big man wrestlers that people kind of take for granted. When he showed up in TNA, he was Dallas. He was Kid Cash's hired assassin. And then him and Jimmy Rave got dumbed down with that stupid Rock and Rave infection, and let's not even begin to describe that terrible nonsense of a mess that TNA did. I'd be here for another half hour discussing all the mistakes TNA ever made. Anyway, Lance Hoyt his reputation speaks for itself. I think a lot of people were probably afraid that if they, were really letting him break out because they don't think he can bring anything, which, again, is not true. TNA, they wasted good talent there. They really did. You have a guy who's a big guy, he's got a good look, and, the fans will love to hate him because that's what he can bring in the ring. You can love to hate him, you can't hate his intensity, though. You really can't. Lance Hoyt is a intense wrestler. I had the distinct honor and privilege of watching him and his Killer Elite Squad tag partner Davey Boy Smith Jr. wrestle against the Kings of the Underground at NWA's Parade of Champions in Houston. This is almost 2 years ago now. Wow, time flies. The match was great. The match was everything I thought it was going to be and more. It was, two guys who, it was four guys, excuse me, who were all in that ring. Two guys already proven themselves to be world class in the Killer Elite Squad, and you had the Kings of the Underground determined to stand on that level. And all teams exceeded my expectations of how good the match was going to be, because the Killer Elite Squad had to, already prove they were world class, had to stay there. The Kings wanted to get there, and they proved it. And it was just a great match back and forth. And I've seen Lance wrestle in singles matches here in Texas. There is like no reason why he can't be a top guy in any company. I believe if of course, again, this is me again with WWE and TNA. If you would let him be the top guy in TNA, he could have been world champion. Had a great feuds, great matches with guys like Joe, now Bobby Roode. Bobby was the main event at that time, but if Lance was still there, Joe, Roode, guys like that. I think him and Roode especially would have some fantastic matches. I'm just thinking off the top of my head. If he was in WWE now, I think him and Seth Rollins could either be a great tag team or a great feud or both. I think he could have a great match with Dean Ambrose, Cesaro, who couldn't have a great match with Cesaro, or Dolph Ziggler. I think if you were there, and I think right now if he was in, since he's in New Japan, not to say he should break away from Suzuki-gun. I honestly don't believe he should. I think that's a great stable he should be in, because we've got a lot of guys like there who are pretty underhanded and sneaky, and he fits in with that crowd. This is not an insult; it's the truth. and I think they should push him for either the IWGP Heavyweight Championship or the Intercontinental title. Quite frankly, those are the top two I would put on him. If he was IWGP Heavyweight Champion, I would definitely put him in a feud with Tanahashi, Okada, and either Kojima or Tenzan, just to really keep it interesting. If he was the IC champion, I would immediately have him feuding with Nakamura and Bad Luck Fale. Those would be my top two picks for that feud. Anybody else, just for having feud, just to show off his singles, Carl Anderson, that'd be cool. Let's see, who else? Nagata. I would definitely put Lance Hoyt in a feud with Nagata if I were booking it. But again, this is just me. But quite frankly, let me sum all this up with this. It wouldn't matter who you would put Lance Hoyt in a feud with, because he would bring it every single match. If people would like in New Japan, stop trying to dumb him down. Stop trying to put him in this box of just a big guy wrestler. Yes, he is one, but he can bring so much more to the table than that. Let Lance Hoyt be Lance Hoyt. You'll get a top guy. You'll get a rough guy. You'll get a fighter. You'll get a pretty much taller and almost scarier version of Kevin Steen if you don't mind the connection. I'm not trying to say Lance just is a taller than Kevin Steen. I'm just saying that kind of intensity, that kind of ferocity. That's the best word for it. Ferocity will be brought to the match. Let the monster loose. Those are my opinions. Those are my thoughts. This is the rest of Spotlight on Lance Hoyt. What do you guys think? What's your opinions of Lance Hoyt? Where does he stand on your radar? Let me know. Leave me a comment. Leave me if you got cameras, make your own video, and who do you think he'd be great if you with? And whenever he comes back to Texas, who do you want to see him fight? Brandon Stroud, you're kind of automatically put in this category for a variety of reasons. Of all those you who don't get that reference, check out Inspire Pro Wrestling. You guys owe me for that reference, by the way, all of you. But guys, thank you for watching. I appreciate your time, and you guys take care. I'll see you soon. Peace.